Hey, Gold Tribe, as we wait patiently for the release of justice, I have a very important topic to discuss real quick. Please pay attention, share this with family members because one of the biggest problems we have, not just in Nigeria, in the world, is lack of education. And the truth is that situations like which I'm going to discuss are not discussed, not in schools, and sometimes not in hospitals. So, this is an awareness video. Please share around. Now, this topic is very sensitive because the truth is, in recent times, and it has always happened, we have had cases of people, parents, fathers abusing their newborn babies. It has gone completely rampage in the world right now. You see a man trying to silence his baby by abusing them. But this is a topic before you jump into mob gang activities or attacking a situation, please understand it. Now, a friend of mine just told me about a story which triggered a memory of mine, and a lot of women don't know this. So, when a woman gives birth to a baby girl, half the time, after a few days, either between 1 day and 7 days, you would notice that your baby girls bleed down there in their genital areas. Now, for every mother that is unaware of this situation, your first instinct or impulse will always be panic. And it is so unfortunate that in the world we live in right now, a lot of newborn babies are being abused by fathers, uncles, or just male figures around, sometimes even by women themselves. So if you don't know this information, it is very quick to jump to attack. Now, like I said, a baby girl between day 1 and day 7 of she being born will discharge a light fluid that looks like a period. You will open their pampers and you will see bleeding down there, and it is very confusing. Now, this is normal and natural for female children. As you can see, it's called neonatal withdrawal bleeding. So what happens is, while in the womb, the baby is exposed to the mother's estrogen hormones. After birth, those hormones levels suddenly drop. The baby's body reacts by shedding a tiny bit of the uterine lining. It is basically similar to a very light period, but it's not actually menstruation in adult sense. So that shedding of the lining doesn't mean that your child is going to menstruate in the future, but it just happens. And a lot of times we parents, because this happened to my daughter 5 days after she came from the hospital, and my first reaction was panic. You know, your mind plays tricks on you and you start wondering like, but I had a baby. What happened? Could it be? You think of the worst scenario possible. Now, in my case, because I never felt unsafe around, my partner, I called my doctor immediately and asked, and he laughed and said, "Oh, this is normal and natural." But I wish he had told me what to expect because nobody thinks of this and nobody goes to read a book and to find out if, oh, your child is going to bleed. This is just something that doesn't cross any parents' minds, and a lot of parents don't know this. Now, like I say, in a world where there's a lot of abuse, it is very easy for you to jump to the worst case scenario. And this is where the story my friend told me came in. She just they just told me this evening. Now, there was a mother who had just given birth and she was extremely exhausted. So her nephew said, "Okay, let me help you. You go take a nap. Let me help you with the baby." The woman slept for 4 hours, and when she woke up, and she went to check the baby was awake. She checked the pampers and she realized there was bleeding down there. Now, out of lack of knowledge, and it's nobody's fault for this, she jumps to attack the nephew, and the nephew said, "I did not do nothing." But of course, in that moment, especially when you're in a society where you hear about abuse, your first instinct is he had attacked the baby. So she screams, the neighbors come, and somehow they beat him up to a pulp that apparently I think he's in a coma right now. And when they took the baby and the person to the hospital, they checked the baby and they realized that there was no obstruction. Nothing had been tampered with, nothing had been done. So now you're stuck in a situation where you falsely accuse someone of something, which anyone would, even if a man saw that, he would probably do have the same reaction. Now, in situations like this, I know it is very difficult to stay calm because when I tell you, even I was in shock when I saw it. I was like, what is this? The sheer panic. The most important thing to do, if you already have not watched this video and know, You can take your baby directly to the hospital and let the doctors check to make sure she is intact and there's nothing going on there. She hasn't been touched and anything. Then you can proceed. If you find out that yes, your baby has been touched, then you should know who the last person you left your child with is and then bring that person to justice. And mothers and fathers, even when you watch this video and you see that happening and you know that there's somebody in your house that you do not feel sure about or you do not trust, please take your child to the hospital to verify before you take any action. Because a lot of people might watch this video now and that happens and they'll think, oh, this is what God is said, and it's actually an abuse. So always verify, but just for awareness sake, know that this is a situation that happens in girls between day 1 and day 7 of their births. And please, for the love of God, if you know that you do not trust your partner or you do not trust the people you bring around your home, keep them away from your home. Do not go having children with people you do not trust. And do not stay in relationships with people you feel something, a sense of not trusting them. Keep them away. I know every child, it will be amazing to be raised in a two-parent household, but if you know you cannot trust your partner, do not have them around your kids. That's as simple as that. These kind of situations create trauma for the future, and you do not want that. The only reason this woman and many other women would jump to conclusion is because we do live in a very dangerous world. The things you would think are unreal are actually real. It happens. But please, before you jump to conclusion, make sure you verify from your doctors. Because just like the young man now stuck in a coma and in a bad situation, it could be life or death situation, and you do not want that. Make sure before you throw a finger to anyone, make sure you are 100% sure of the situation. As nasty as the world is, not everyone is out there to hurt you. So before you jump and destroy a person's life, please be 100% sure of your situation. Like I said, the bleeding starts between 1 to 7 days. It might be darker red in color, it could be light brown, or it could be just very light pinkish. And this would disappear within 3 days. But if you're not sure and your heart tells you something else, please check it. I felt like I needed to bring this to the public because a lot of people are going to get into trouble because of this situation. Please be mindful, and as much as possible, even if it's not your domain, even if you're not aware of where, it's impossible for everyone to know everything. If I did not go through that situation, there's no way I would know about it. But in life, it is very important to educate yourself on different topics, even when they have nothing to do with your career or your lifestyle. Just be aware of little things, especially, let's say, laws. Know the laws and the rules of our nations so that you know, in case you get into trouble, you know how to get out of it. And as I finish the story now, please, where is justice? Where is justice? And I promise the people that our voice will never be silenced. We will always speak about this because a closed mouth will never get fed. And if you close your mouth, you will never get change. It is it is our rights as Nigerians, as people in a democratic community, to be able to speak. We do not attack people for no reason. We do not just wake up out of our beds and say, oh, we're going to be evil today and just spit on the government. No, that's not what we do here. We need justice and for every single person. As of today, we still don't know what is going to happen for the young man who was unalived in Delta. We are not going to accept this kind of treatment. There has to be a law that actually protects the people, because if the people in uniform will not protect us, then it's a problem. It's every man for themselves. If you know you're not going to protect us, then please let us have approval to carry our own pew-pews so we can protect ourselves, please. Because at this point is every day you wake up, you don't know if you're safe or not. It's every man for himself at this point. And it shouldn't be like that. If this case that of the boy in Delta happened to a politician's child or a rich man's child, do you think those police will still be alive? Let's be real. Let's be real. Your life is not more important than ours.